What is going on, guys? Today we are looking at the best meta players under 600,000 coins. Comment your most expensive player in your team currently. You know the drill with these. Goalkeepers, pretty standard. We are now at the point, especially in the market, where every goalkeeper is on here. You cannot physically get any more expensive. The most expensive goalkeeper on here is 546k for Van der Sar. You've obviously got two different versions. You have got a +2 now from his Thunderstruck, and you've got the 88 coming in at 360. Yashin's coming in at 485, which is the second highest priced and the most highest rated. And I do think Yashin definitely has been put into the game a lot more now. I've seen him a fair few times and he's done a decent job, but I think even out of all of these goalkeepers, the best goalkeeper in my opinion is still going to be Van der Sar. I know a lot of people are saying Schmeichel. It's just preference. Van der Sar is my number one. I'd definitely say Dudek is a much increased card this year. Last year I really didn't like him. Campos is still in the bin, but Dudek definitely has revived himself a lot more. I've been seeing a lot more kind of news about Pope as well. I think he's always been a good goalkeeper. 6'6" is always going to equate to something, and he's very cheap. It's all for different budgets. When it comes to the other icons, I'm just not needed. If I can get a Van der Sar, that's number one on the list. Courtois is my favourite gold, but definitely Alisson and Edison do hold up their end of the bargains as well. If your team's looking like this, then I have the place for you. Head over to U7Buy for all your coin needs. They're cheap, fast and reliable, but make sure to use JT11 at the checkout for 6% off all of your coin orders. Bombasta 89, 165,000, a brand new UCL hero with definite amount of talent. We've got more of a wing back, if anything. Great pace, shooting's there, you've got a good amount of passing and also dribbling, and the physicality is a little bit of a letdown, but genuine pace, it's not a terrible card for the price. Lazurazu, I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right, but another UCL hero. We've used him many a times now, and genuine, very, very good left back. He has got crazy amounts of base. To say it's only 90, I would be very shocked. He feels like the sort of Ferland Mendy level, which is just a crazy amount. He's one that I'd say if he was kind of more into like Liga and La Liga, he would probably be a bit more of a price for the links that he can give you. Bundesliga is still not a bad thing, but the French nation is always going to be a perfect one. I think the only thing I'd add to him is weak foot, not too fussed about skill move, and also his playstyle plus. If I could get something different other than slide tackle, he is an absolute monster. Robertson's still one of my favourites in terms of a trailblazer. Prem 88 and 155k, not terrible at all. Again, starting to lose out a little bit now because of that 3-star, 2-star. It's a little bit on the lower side compared to your Ferland Mendes, your Teos, your Backers. He now needs that little bit extra there because rapid playstyle plus is not terrible for him. We have got Teo as well in the 86 role. Obviously, he does have a Dynasties card, which is always nice, but very, very expensive. Same as Ferland Mendy. He is in the next sort of price range, if anything. But 306k, if you manage to get him from an inform pack or something, he is definitely one that is still very, very relevant. And I cannot wait for him to get a version with a playstyle plus not over 1 million coins. Now, Backer is one of the best left backs you could have got from an SBC. 89 rated, still due one more upgrade if they do manage to go through the UCL, which by the looks of things is very, very likely to happen, meaning we would have a 90 rated backer, which would be insane from 170,000 coins. She's outstanding in pace, defending, obviously the dribbling and passing's nice as well. She has got the whipped pass on the playstyle plus also, so I think for me that is an easy dub if you've done that SBC. Alex Scott, didn't like a hero one bit, but I must admit, she's reined it back a little bit with the hero, with the UCL anyway. 250, 4-star weak foot, which is always nice, relentless on the playstyle plus, which is something at the minimum, and in terms of stats, we're looking pretty good throughout. I think in terms of tackling, she definitely surprised me a lot more than what I was expecting. I thought she would be this kind of lackluster right back in comparison to what we've got in James, Missouri, Klaus, Lorente, Centurion's evolution, but most definitely held her own. Frimpong is outstanding. Probably the most expensive fullback we've seen so far at just shy of 600,000, but an 87 rated with obviously the long throw-in playstyle plus. I mean, that for me is kind of a big L for him, but everything else is stunning. If we could just see that one level up from him now, he's already got that 97 pace on a base. Now we just need some more defending physical, but that's easily sort outable, and most definitely, I cannot wait for the future of him. Controversial, this Klaus course, is 88 rated, one rated higher than his 87, but I do think in terms of who would you go for, you've got to go the 87. The difference in price is crazy. You're looking at about 20,000 coins for the 87 or 200 for the 204,000 coin 88 with a long ball throw in as well. I'm not a massive fan of that one. I just thought I'd throw him in and get your opinions. We have Missouri at 250k, the radioactive 87. Great link-ups now for the Bundesliga. Could link him up with Lazarazu. I don't know why I keep trying to pronounce his name, but in terms of a right back, solid. Decent on the pace, you're never going to grumble at 91. We've then got a moderate level of passing, dribbling, defending and physical, but all can be sorted out with a chemistry style, which is always bang on, and he gets them extra chemistry points. Cancelo's always an option, 325,000 coins for the 89 team of the group stage. He is a 4-4, can play left back as well if you already have your right back position sorted, and most definitely will give you everything. He's more of a complete right back. He doesn't necessarily have the shooting, but everything else bar from physicality is absolutely top notch. And bringing us to the final right back of this tier, we've got 420,000 for a Reece James Dynasties. Love the card, great rating, it's a nice increase for him, and I think most definitely he is one of these cards that will progress, hopefully out of performance based, because naturally he does seem to be injured quite a lot. Whether we see this kind of in a month or two, but I could imagine he is going to get a really high card by the end, and this version is arguably one of the better right backs in the game currently. First centre back on the list is going to be Armand Desailly. Nearly 400,000 coins. I must admit, I do prefer him in a CDM role, but if you've already got that position completely covered, he definitely can play a centre-back role. He's got the pace for it, defending physical is monstrous at 88, and he does have the block playstyle plus as an added bonus. Ledley King, he is an SBC, and I think it's always good to put some light on these higher rated ones, or higher price ones at the minimum. He has got the Anticipate Playstyle Plus, which is my personal favourite for a centre-back, and I think in terms of a Prem centre-back, he's definitely not the worst. I just think the price for him was a bit expensive when you do have a Virgil that is 100,000 coins and better. Now Kimpembe is one that I haven't really seen too much. You can buy him for just shy of 400. He is a 2-star, 3-star with a Bruiser playstyle plus. He does have a little bit of pace, not as much as what he once had, to be honest, and most definitely if you look at the rest of the list, we have got some very high-end paces, and most definitely with the Shadow, he still gets 89, which is perfect, but I do think he is still going to be very nostalgic vibes, and maybe if we do see a higher rated one, we might get him in a lot more teams. Varane could have been outstanding if we just managed to get the extra wins for that bonus. He isn't going to be 89, unfortunately. He's 480, he's meta, he's got that 89 defender with the 81 physical, already 80 plus. We have then Kayunde. He seems to have just come out of nowhere. This Trailblazer was mega value. He's now coming in at 460, which seems to be pretty respectable around the higher end sort of centre-backs. And I think, again, another one that can play right back as well, if you really wanted to. He's only 5'11", which most definitely is flexible between both positions, but I would suggest if you are having him in a partnership as a centre-back, maybe having someone a little bit taller, like a Virgil, just to kind of get them headers. If you're going against a Haaland, whether he beats him in the air is going to be the big debate. A partnership in the Barca duo there, we have Kayunde and now we have Arejo. It's a perfect link because, like I said, you've obviously got a 5'11" Kayunde, 6'2" Arejo with his aerial playstyle plus as well. So that is, to be honest, probably the best partnership you're going to find in a long time. He's also coming in at about 450 with great pace, defending and physical to the max, and most definitely oodles amounts of talent. I think with Company as well, he is definitely one of the most meta centre-backs we've got come in. We saw Lucio last year. I feel like Company is the next level again. He is absolutely brilliant. There is another version that is just that little bit out of this budget. He is a UCL hero, whereas I still think you could definitely get away with his base hero 100%. Blanc as an SBC has now finished. We've got his normal card on the market still. We have plenty of icon packs coming out, which could land you one, which it did for me, so I'm glad I never finished any of that SBC. But a solid centre-back nonetheless. 470 or 476. I'm pretty sure the value of the card on the market as well was roughly around the sort of same. And he's a decent centre-back. Maybe he's got sub 80 pace, but most definitely the 90 defending, 85 physical makes up for it. One that I'm surprised is so cheap is Timber. 212,000. Yes, he may not be the best playstyle plus a 3-star, which as a centre-back, I'm more than happy with. And in terms of the stats, one of the best pace that we've got, one under Koyunde. Obviously, the defending and physical, they're both matched at 85 with 84 dribbling. I don't see why this card is not more expensive, other than the fact he's not in that top-end sort of team in terms of Barcelona, Real Madrid, a France nation, or anything like that. But I do think the Prem tax really should have hit a number on this one. Virgil van Dijk is... There's not much arguing with him, to be honest. You've got Virgil in whatever form. Gold, in form, what is new, Euros card. Obviously, he's a winter wild card, I believe, as well. He is phenomenal in any version. And if you get him at any point, he is completely the best centre-back you can get for such a low price. And in the final centre-backs, we've got Sol Campbell. 412,000 for the Thunderstruck. He has been upgraded to the 88, which is always nice. Great pace on him, as well as an incredible amount of defending physical. Yes, everything else takes a complete nosedive in 62 dribbling and 63 passing, but he's an old school centre-back. He's got the bruiser playstyle, and his tackling is out of this world. Into the midfield, Kevin De Bruyne, nearly 600,000 for himself. I'm not a necessarily massive fan of spending that much on a 92 De Bruyne. I'm a personal favourite of the Team of the Year, Team of the Season, a higher rated De Bruyne, as he definitely has more of a split of the stats. He predominantly is more passing, dribbling, and pace-wise is just a little bit let down with the version that's currently on there. But still a 4-star, 5-star, and is changed into a long ball pass playstyle plus. And if you wanted passing, Modric is definitely your man. Yes, he doesn't have the incisive long ball or whipped pass, but Trevella's going to enable him from outside of the box. He's got the 4-star still, which is nice, but incredible amounts of dribbling and also pace, with a little bit more on that pace as well, which is always perfect. He's one of them cards that genuinely has that box-to-box mentality, as well as then having incredible amounts of passing. Bonmati is the first Liga F in this team. We obviously have two others in this kind of centre mid sort of variety, and she's a 4-5. Yes, has an inform that is a little bit cheaper, but in terms of the card itself, it's a very well statted card. You add a shadow, you get yourself above that 80 defending. I think the physical is more than okay, especially if you have the trio already, and I do think in terms of where she can kind of progress to, there is a lot of hope for the Liga F. Big old Jude at 430 for the Trailblazer. We did have the Player of the Month there, but I thought we're not going to add him too much because naturally we cannot get him one bit, as the Player of the Month has now ended and it's changed into Griezmann, whereas we still can get his inform, which is very cheap at an 87, and also the Trailblazer that's coming in at 440 with a 4-4, and naturally very good player in the game. Another Dynasties, we have Taurum as the 325,087 centre mid. Again, very good stats throughout. He was a bully boy in the middle, being 6'4", which is just incredibly tall. He very much is that kind of box-to-box, bully, physicality sort of player, and he works absolutely incredible. The only thing I'm not a fan of is the press proven. It's just not my number one play style. 400k for the 89 Valverde, not a bad little offer. Maybe you'd kind of opt for more of the gold version. I know he does have a radioactive that is absolutely incredible, but when we go to the inform, it's still a very nice upgrade. I'm not a big fan of +1, so I would suggest more towards the gold, but in terms of the stats throughout, it's a very, very solid card. Putellas is the next one. I believe she is leaked for the Winter Wildcard. It's either her or Bonmati. I can't remember which one it was, but the 91 is in definite deserve of an upgrade. We had a Nike promo one, but it is the same rating, so it's not really an upgrade. She's a 5-5 already. Stats beyond belief. The shadow, again like Bonmati, takes up the pace and the defending with already crazy amounts of shooting, passing and dribbling. She is a must in anybody's team. More of a DM for Centurions Makalele, 500,000. Definitely would recommend the normal icon. We've got the same with Rijkaard, we've got the same with Petit, and even Essien. Solid CDMs that I just think going for the basic on this one. If Makalele was a double or triple upgrade, 100% you go for the better version. But when it's only a +1 and is a 100k increase on price, I'm just not willing to pay for the dynamic, when realistically that is going to drop naturally as well. We then have the final Liga F card in Patry, the 90 rated 530k team of the group stage. She is brand new into the team as well for the mini release and has stats very much like the rest. arguably even better. Yes, the pace is pretty much the same, but an increase in that defending. You could argue you could go with the anchor and use her more defensively / attacking, but if you did have all three, that is going to be a midfield trio that is hard to beat, and especially with a Hansen on the right wing. Ramirez, again like Company, has himself a better version, but that is very, very expensive, way over the million coin mark, and he is about 500,000 now. He is arguably my kind of one to watch, because in terms of this card, he has got that starting baseline that I'm like, yes, this at the end of the game is going to be a card that is well worth it. He's already got incredible amounts of pace like Valverde. Defending and physical is outstanding as well. He, for me, is one card to look at in the future, and this card is still phenomenal as well. And final midfielder, we've got Kaká. Love the card, 5-star, 4-star, 565,000, so one of the most expensive midfielders on this list, and he arguably is, what, third in line for the cams? I think second or third. You've got Socrates, Rivaldo, arguably cam left wing, but I do think in terms of him, you're only missing out on the Ronaldinho Pele R9. But Kaká, as a 5-5, if you manage it for the FUT birthday, was phenomenal, and this version alone will still give you a lot of work. The only thing that I don't like about him is there is no alternative positions for him. One of my favourite wingers in the game, we have Dembele. 200,000 coins for this 87. Again, has another version into the road to the knockout. He's a 5-5 on base no matter what, and he does have the rapid playstyle plus as well. If you've not been lucky enough to go and finish a Salah, you've not got yourself a Garincha, a Jarzinho, a Hansen, anybody in above that role, then Dembele, as even a gold card up to this version, is still phenomenal value. We've picked the cheaper Saka because both of them have a 91. Don't ask. I really don't know why a team in the group stage is the same rating in the same promo. It just is what it is. But 407 for the road to the knockout version, and you can get yourselves maybe a playstyle plus on the other, but still an incredible amount of pace, shooting, dribbling, passing. It's all there for this guy. Back to the Liga F, we have Hansen at 350, which would complete a very nice quadruple player from the midfield to the right wing, even throwing in a cheeky striker left back. Then you have got yourselves a beautiful Liga F team, and Hansen at a 5-4. She has got a Trailblazer version as well, but unfortunately that one is just that tad bit expensive as well. Sonny Baby has got many forms, and this is the cheapest by a landslide. A 4-star, 5-star, unfortunately unavailable in the striking role, but is nearly 600,000 coins cheaper than his Player of the Month SBC, and about 300k cheaper than the Trailblazer version that is 89 also. It's an easy choice for him. You can obviously swap him in game. It's not necessarily that he has to stay left wing. It's just unfortunate we can't change him into a striker. Now we've got Vinny at 89. I know he does again have a Thunderstruck, which is, I'm pretty sure, over 2 million still. This 89 is still very nice. He gives me the Neymar vibes. It's kind of how his progression has always been labelled. He doesn't necessarily have the shot power, which is just crazy because Neymar was exactly the same. All pace, all dribbling, little bit of shooting, no physicality. It is literally Neymar 2.0, but we all know how Neymar's career went, and we all know how good Neymar was. So if this is the next level of him, I cannot wait for him to get versions I could actually afford. Liao, not necessarily worth it in my opinion for the Trailblazer. He's a good card and he's a 4-4, can obviously go into that striking role in this version as well, but I'm just not necessarily a big fan of the price. He is definitely decent, but when I can go get a Son, a Vinny, a Kvaratskhelia, obviously a Diaz as well for under the price, I just think he is waiting on that monster upgrade personally. Luis Diaz, an amazing left wing. The only thing he's missing is either a 5-star skiller or weak foot and a playstyle plus, because pace, shooting, dribbling, passing is absolutely all there. He is just missing that one key ingredient, and it's a starter for him. It's a road to the knockout. It was one of the very first promos, so to say that this card is already as good, we can't wait to see what the next one's going to be like. We then have a monstrous 540 Kvaratskhelia, an 88 right wing or left wing, depending on your preference. Always like the versatility of him. He does have the Trickster playstyle plus, which again isn't my favourite. It's decent in some scenarios. If obviously you're beating your opponent quite a lot, then fair enough. But realistically, it isn't used as much as the rapid, as the quick step. Even a technical wouldn't be terrible in this scenario. He again has got very good stats, and if he did drop drop down in price a little bit, he's a perfect card to get on the wing. The final one on the left wing though, we have got Hemp, a 320k Thunderstruck Man City left wing with the whipped pass playstyle plus. Never going to argue at that one. In terms of crossing, you've got yourself absolutely covered. Crazy amounts of pace, crazy amounts of dribbling. Yes, we could have done with a 5-star skill or a 4-4, but in terms of what we can get down the wing, she definitely is one to look at for the price. Luis Figo coming in just over 500 as well, 90 rated in himself. Again, in terms of stats, I always liked him in that cam role. His alternative position can go there due to the fact that normally his base version would be there, so it is nice that they've kept them along the kind of same theme. But in terms of right wing, he definitely did a number. I just think when it comes to his sort of size, he is a little bit bulkier than everybody else. I think he's got the average build, which most definitely adds a little bit into the middle for me rather than necessarily on the wing. If you was to throw him into the middle, Salah on the right, there's definitely going to be a good connection there. And then finally on the wingers, Salah. Any version of him is cracked. His dribbling is phenomenal. He's got great pace. 4-star, 3-star is still a work in progress, but naturally we do see Salah eventually getting a 5-5. It always happens, and most definitely you can, well, I don't even know, you can't finish the player of the month. That one has gone, but I can imagine he will win it again, or at least he will get another card that will be in packs very, very soon. The first striker on the list, Rodrigo 88, 470. I love him as a striker, but I must admit, winger is definitely where he can go. He's very, very versatile in his left wing position, his right wing, and also a striker. So you can literally pick and choose where you want to put him if you are looking for the chemistry bonus. If you are putting him as a striker, I would get a partner, as most definitely the physicality is just not there, but the pace definitely is. Fernando Torres at 280, which is just incredible because there is some people that don't like this card. I thought he was absolutely brilliant. He's got himself the finesse plus, which is useful in some areas. Yes, not as much as previous, but he is definitely a goal scorer. That is exactly what I want from an icon striker, and he delivers game in, game out. 88 Kolobawane. Beautiful card. He is still live, so still can get upgrades, and I believe we are still, I think the next round is for basically their playstyle pluses. Whether we see that on him, it will be coming in the near future. 400,000 for the live card, so naturally, if he doesn't get it, you will lose out quite a lot, as that is what we are kind of hoping for. It's the same for the road to the knockouts, same when we had the fantasy cards. If they get knocked out without their upgrade, naturally you will lose a decent amount on the profit, but if they go through, there's a big earner for you. So it depends on how much do you trust the pro to get the job done. João Pedro, I'm pretty sure if you're a watcher of the channel, you know how much this card has really, really taken to me. 360,000 from a silver to an 89. He is a perfect finisher. We have to obviously throw in a bit of Cristiano as well. 300,000 coins for his Trailblazer. He is due to come into the Winter Wildcard promo, so it will be interesting to see what we get. Do we finally get our 90 rated Ronaldo, or is he just going to miss out on an 89? I'm praying that they do give him a double upgrade. He is still a 5-4 on this version as well, and again, it's Ronaldo. His in-games don't change. He's got his own body type. He's still got a decent amount of pace. You go with the Hunter, it's basically like last year all over again. Probably one of my favourite free cards we've ever had. The Beats Haaland is unstoppable. 87 rated. He's gained all of the pace. He's got a decent amount of shooting, which still, you can go either go whack a Hunter, go whack a finisher, and he is literally the same version as the Dynasties. It's absolutely nuts. Yes, he misses out on a bit more physicality, but as a free still, he's absolutely crazy for a free card. Griezmann now dropping to 400 at a 90 rated. Does definitely annoy a lot of people that finished that player of the month, because that card was due to be incredible. They then nerfed the finesse shot plus halfway through, so if you'd finished him by then, there was not a lot you can do. Then they go and give you a card that's one rated higher, different playstyle plus, which is arguably either better or worse. I think it's probably neither. I don't think the technical helps that much, but most definitely cheaper, which is just outstanding. Alvarez was one of the ones that really put my kind of mind on a striker going into this team of the group stage. Just remembering all of the evolutions that you could have done with him to now reach this 88. Again, cheaper than the 87 Trailblazer they brought out, which is fair enough. They do this all the time. It's not necessarily the worst thing in the world, because we know when we do an SBC, like Mbappe, he's gone back-to-back player of the months. but you are either happy with that SBC and you know that if he does get another one, then you've just got to live with it. With Alvarez, it did come very quick after, and unfortunately it is a considerable drop in price. We then have Valali 91, 400,000, a double upgrade for this card. He's a 4-4, just a cracking upgrade. I really didn't expect such a decent upgrade from the base version that I wrote off straight away. He didn't feel the one that I wanted, it just wasn't scoring enough, and naturally this next version, even though it's just a double upgrade, it's hardly like they changed a massive amount. It seems like they revitalized the card, 4 on the pace extra, and pretty much then the rest is just a double upgrade. But he just feels absolutely astonishing now. Had to throw in another Sophia Smith, beautiful card. Centurions 420 on the price. She is just easily to get along with. She feels like she has that pace. She's got the dead ball specialist like Rodrigo, which again for free kicks isn't awful, but it's not necessarily my number one option on a striker. I'd prefer that on a midfielder and kind of sacrifice another playstyle plus, or just have it as a normal playstyle. I'm not too fussed about the plus, as naturally the free kicks, once you get the angle, is easy. But in terms of a finisher, she is absolutely brilliant. And the final one on the list is got to be Radioactive Big Boy Benz. 593, very, very close to that 600k mark. Radioactive gives him the extra chemistry points, which is nice, but whether he needs it during the fact that he is already French and has plenty of links there. But in terms of the card himself, he's always going to be a phenomenal player on the ball. He may not be the card that runs through and absolutely beats every man with his pace, but most definitely the dribbling / shooting is going to be enough in and around the box.